Well, he joins us on Fridays, and he comes in on a wave of magic. Oh, yeah! Come on, Michael Snyder. What's up?
Hey, happy Friday, Michael.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday to you, too. You know, the Chinese New Year arrived. I know it's now the year of the ox, so why do I keep writing year of the rat on my checks? I just don't get it.
Very nice, very nice.
So many holidays, right? Valentine's Day, Mardi Gras, President's Day, and then, you know, obviously there was a snow day the other day in Congress. Otherwise, why do you think Cruisin' went, you know, to Cancun? You know, I just don't. He sort of took off for the snow day. It's as if the guy has no empathy. Wow.
You don't think that's breaking news? In other words, yeah, probably right.
Yeah.
Not
really.
I saw on your list of movies something that I really enjoyed seeing the other night. You're going to get to Judas and the Black Messiah, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to kick that off? Let's actually, you know what? Let me start with Nomadland.
Can I tell you a story about Nomadland real quick? It's a 20-second story. I was so excited to see it. Courtney was excited to see it. We sat on the couch last night, and we go to Hulu, which I just recently got because it has, you know, things like Nomadland on it, and it wasn't there. It said it's not available. This title's not available to stream. I'm thinking, what's going on? I tweeted them angrily, but, you know, sort of, I hope, cleverly, and I call you, Michael Snyder. I'm going, what's going on here? I'm supposed to be, we're all set with popcorn, and we want to watch this. It's a Frances McDormand film. And it turns out you weren't reachable. It went to voicemail. They reached me at Hulu. They tweeted back to me, and they said, no, it's released today. You're 1 day early. So it's released today. So with that preamble, with that self-indulgent preamble, please tell me about Nomadland.
I'm not saying you were overeager, but you were justified in wanting to see it. Written and directed by Chloe Zhao, Nomadland it's beautiful. It's spare. It's a movie about the dark corners of the human condition, the will to survive in the face of loss, and the search for a place in the world that can be unforgiving sometimes, but also kind. It was one of my favorite films of 2020, believe it or not, even though it's just getting out now. It was released to critics for awards qualification in December, and now everyone can see it via Hulu. Filmmaker Chloe Zhao made this finely tuned, deeply affecting movie in 2017 called The Rider, and it was no fluke because she's followed up with this poignant odyssey of a tough, taciturn older woman who decides to simply travel the heartland in her modest van and take on a series of seasonal jobs after the death of her husband. Frances McDormand, she's absolutely riveting as this decidedly unglamorous nomad. And Fern, her social interactions generally revolve around familiar fellow travelers that she regularly encounters on the road and other random freebooters who have basically refrained from settling down. David Strathairn plays a senior motor homeowner with a yen for Fern, which is, again, Frances McDormand's character. And he's the only recognizable face in the cast, which seems to be made up of many actual nomads that Zhao has recruited to bring kind of a gritty reality to the way of life that Fern has chosen. By the way, Zhao is currently helming a Marvel movie, Eternals, with a really high-profile cast, including Angelina Jolie and a blockbuster sprawl. And I hope it's good because I like that sort of thing. But I also hope she keeps making movies like Nomadland. Again, you should be able to access it on Hulu starting today. You mentioned Judas and the Black Messiah. Powerful, informative, dramatically satisfying. Judas and the Black Messiah is the true story of an FBI informant named William O'Neill, who, due to petty criminal activity, is coerced into infiltrating the Black Panther Party in Chicago during the late 60s, where he's tasked with keeping an eye on the Illinois chapter's leader, Fred Hampton, a guy that FBI head J. Edgar Hoover fears and wants to bring down. You're undermining America. We're going to get him. And O'Neill is conflicted about this, to say the least. I mean, the deeper he gets into the party, the closer he gets to Hampton, the more and more impressed he is by Hampton's seeming dedication and his willingness to sacrifice for the betterment of the black community, which, to be fair, is being ground down by the white devils at every turn. This is a crucial history lesson from director, co-screenwriter Shaka King, who does a killer job telling this story. And he's aided immensely by superb performances from Lakeith Stanfield as O'Neill and Daniel Kaluuya of Get Out, playing Hampton. The whole cast is aces. You get Jesse Plemons, in a significant role as the FBI agent who recruits O'Neill. Martin Sheen as the vile J. Edgar Hoover. Highly recommending Judas and the Black Messiah on HBO Max. Mark, what did you think?
Oh, I agree. I mean, I would just underline everything you just said. It was terrific. I told the audience this a couple days ago when I saw it. I just really recommended Judas and the Black Messiah for all. But you articulated it so well, because you're a writer and you do stuff like that. You articulate things well. I truly was. I was blown away. I thought it was a really terrific movie.
Cool. So 2 incredibly worthwhile films available. And guess what? I got another one, and it's a little more unlikely, a little more off the beaten track. It's called Dear Comrades. The lauded and legendary Russian filmmaker Andrei Konchalovsky directed and co-wrote his latest, Dear Comrades, which, by the way, is Russia's entry in the foreign language category for this year's Oscars. Konchalovsky is in his 80s. And from the evidence of this excellent movie, the man is still going strong. Dear Comrades is a tense historical drama, more history here, more tension, with moments of mordant satire. And it takes place in a small Soviet industrial town during 1962, when the communist government raised food prices, but not wages. So the local workers went on strike, leading to an armed response from the powers that be. In the middle of all of this, a loyal party member is forced to figure out what side she's on, especially when her daughter, who is a factory worker, is caught up in the melee. Dear Comrades, which was shot in black and white and is presented in the old square aspect ratio, effectively like newsreel footage, is some dark, shattering stuff that'll stick with you for quite a while after you see it and make you glad you didn't live through its events, even if we ain't in a bed of roses right now. I mean, if nothing else, this should remind us of the need to guard against the real totalitarian nightmare that it depicts. You can see Dear Comrades on Hulu, Amazon Prime Video, and Vudu. And I want to wrap up with something that disappointed me because it's ideal for family viewing in theory. Earwig and the Witch is the first CGI animated feature from Japan's highly esteemed studio Ghibli, which is the home of the masterful animator Hayao Miyazaki, who made the Oscar-winning Spirited Away, Kiki's Delivery Service, My Neighbor Totoro, just a whole lifetime of wonderful films. But alas, Earwig, which is directed by Miyazaki's son Goro, is a major disappointment. It's based on a British kid's book about a foundling taken in by an orphanage in the English countryside and then adopted by a bad-tempered witch and her weird warlocky companion. And it smacks of earlier Ghibli movies, but it also has a strange rock and roll subplot that makes little sense. Earwig, who is the girl taken in by the witchy couple, is more annoying than endearing. The plot and script seem kind of addled and disconnected. It lacked a clear setup, an in-universe coherence, and the lyrics of the movie's signature song must have lost everything in the translation from Japanese to English, even as sung by the great Casey Musgraves, who they recruited. The lyrics were less than magical, in fact, downright dim. Earwig and the Witch, available in various formats and on various platforms if you look for it and want to check it out.
Wow. Yeah, and you've got the real Jones for animated stuff, and you've got a good eye for that. And it was sort of disappointing. As you say, the pedigree would seem to really be good on that movie, but not there. But more than made up for by the other picks. Nomadland on Hulu. You like it. In fact, you picked it as one of the best films of last year. It was released to the critics, as you say, before the new year. Now we just have a chance to see it for the first time today. It's on Hulu. Judas and the Black Messiah, you liked it as much as I did. I thought you just did a great summary of how terrific it is and important it is. But anyway, HBO Max is where you can see that. Dear Comrades, that sounds sort of thought-provoking and disturbing, Michael. You know, Amazon Prime, Hulu, and Vudu. You really liked it, Dear Comrades.
I don't want to be gentle with you people. You know.
No, you can. We can take it. We can take it. And you didn't like Earwig and the Witch. Avoid it. Anything on TV, real quick, before we leave?
Yeah, It's a Sin on HBO Max just started, and this is the work of Russell Davies, the guy who convinced the BBC to revive Doctor Who in 2006 and was the showrunner and brought it back to international fame and brought David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston to the screen as the Doctor. Then went on to make Years and Years, which is a really wonderful movie about, the potential future in England as seen through the eyes of a family. And now It's a Sin might be his most personal and powerful. It's set in the 80s in England and follows a few guys who are like Davies, gay, and are confronting the AIDS epidemic. And oh my God, bring a box of tissues for It's a Sin. It's seriously it's an important show. It's kind of like, Angels in America. This is like Angels in Britain, kind of.
Wow. I'll check it out. HBO Max. It's a Sin. Well, Michael, I wish we could visit with you longer, but alas, we have to wrap things up.
You're down to 5% battery.
We don't have a lot of time. It's true, but
okay.
we enjoy.
I'm on my way to Cancun, Mark. I don't have time for that.
There you go.
Nice line.
Hasta luego, and you can read Michael Snyder in the Marina Times. He does the Coastal Commuter. You can find Michael Snyder. He's called the Culture Blaster. At Culture Blaster on Twitter and on YouTube. Thank you, Michael, always for spending time with us. Bye, Michael.
Bye, guys.